Hey, you guys are listening to another episode of Small Town Famosity. And we believe in what they're doing. Woo pig suey. Okay, well, there's three Trumps. Interview Trump is the most boring Trump. You know, I don't know Putin. I've never seen Putin before. I don't know anything about Putin.
That's so on. That is perfect.
Then there's teleprompter Trump.
Yeah, he's loud, boisterous.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un has put the entire Pacific Rim at risk. All of East Asia is at risk because of Little Rocket Man's reckless actions.
He can't see you right
Romey
now.
the homie.
Come on over here.
Yeah, right here to my left is Jordan.
Jordan's eating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's eating my fries. That
Deputy Sheriff
they're
Jordan
an hour
Hanson.
old.
Nice.
It's the best
Me,
kind.
Chase, Alan. That blue shirt is banging, dude. And then Romey's right over here.
Oh, wait. Let me get the necklace showing.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Mr. T started it.
No, he didn't.
Now you look like a used car salesman.
We can't judge your intentions, but we can judge your actions.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's get started.
Hey, you can get jailed for intent though. I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm saying
we got a
I
cop
can't.
over here.
You can. I'll be in jail for intent to distribute.
Oh my gosh.
The officer's not smiling enough. I can't.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at Alan's upgraded grip on his vape.
Also, I see like half of your face like this. So it's like, hi, I'm a sheriff's deputy. License and registration, Mr. Funny Pants.
All right, meow.
All right, so we're golly. All right, so we have to remember that he'll have about a second lag. So let you know.
So don't.
Ed, this is your show. It's all about you, brother.
So don't interrupt him. What he's trying to say.
Exactly. If he looks
All
like
right,
his,
all right.
if you see the beard moving,
Hold on.
let him talk.
All right, let's just stop. Now watch me eat this banana.
Okay. And
He does not look very enthused.
he's like, "Who are these idiots?"
Well, hey, I'm here, man. Look, I'm honored. This is an honor.
What have I signed up for?
It's like, when I first started comedy, it was like, is it a Netflix special where you've made it? Is it like the Tonight Show? No, it is on Skype with people in Arkansas. That's when you know.
The phrase he was looking for was small town famous, but he could not remember. We get it. I forget, dude.
I thought people in Arkansas sounded funnier. Sorry.
No, we just look funny.
Sorry.
It is everyone's dream to be on the 481st place in the iTunes comedy realm.
Yeah. Hey, that could change. That could change in a day, man.
That's just an estimate. I don't know that for sure.
After much research, who has enough time?
Nice.
You're supposed to be protecting and serving.
The number.
He's looking at officer.
He's got a callus on
Hanson,
his
what
finger.
you doing over there?
He's got a callus on his finger from scrolling down so far.
Found us up on the deep web. All right, let's start the show. We got a special guest tonight. Chase, you want to kick us off, brother?
And you're listening to Small Town Famous. And we're coming to you from Magnolia, Arkansas today.
We are.
Why, Alan?
Because I got good Wi-Fi here.
You do.
Alan lives in a tree.
Me and our guest, we have something in common, and that is horrific internet because we live in the middle of nowhere. Except I'm not on a goat farm.
Well, hold on.
Ed is thinking right now, I knew I should have went to that pottery making class tonight.
Homeschool cotillion. I should have gone to the homeschool cotillion.
No,
Anything.
our guest tonight is a Would you call him up and coming, or is he already?
No, he's
already
there.
He's already up.
He's up.
He's down now. I don't know. He's a comedian.
He is laterally mobile for sure. with the slight. He's trending upwards.
Tim Hawkins aspires to be Ed Wiley.
Now that beef continues.
No, our guest today is Ed Wiley, comedian, and also goat farmer, also homeschooler, also Civil War reenactor. Yeah. So he's.
That's terrible. I'll tell you guys though, I was in. I was in Arkansas. I was in what is it? What's that town in Northwest? Bentonville.
Yeah,
yes,
we did have a Bentonville up there.
Yeah, and I was so I went there to see the original Walmart, and
that's basically
I was
South
standing
Missouri.
there. Do you like that? So I was standing there in the courthouse square, and I was just perfectly still, minding my own business, and some people came up and tried to remove me. Which is only funny if you can see that I have a beard. And this is a podcast. So what I'm trying to say is my career is over. It ended right now.
Don't worry, you still have some time before this goes out.
Cheers.
It can only go from here. Oh man!
No, Ed's joining us today. Very thankful that he is. But
Absolutely.
I mean, we're coming off a very hot weekend anyway, and we're video Skyping also on the phone with Ed. And I see some. You're a small town guy, right, Ed?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in yeah.
If you got to think about it,
For the sake of the podcast,
where I live now. There's no town. There's just like woods and maybe a trailer park here or there, some meth labs, and then us. That's it. That's all we got.
Definitely counts.
Yeah.
that's our town.
that's South Arkansas.
You're larger than us.
So
All we have is meth labs.
we don't even have the trailer park.
You ever heard of a town called Waldo,
and our sister
Arkansas?
city of Magnolia, Arkansas.
No, but we were talking about this a little bit before the show. Was in small towns, hunting is obviously the big topic right now.
That was a Diet Coke, everybody.
Romey,
Yes, sir.
you sent us a picture opening the
Opening morning
Yeah,
of Modern Gun.
yeah. Who all went, by the way? Ed, did you go hunting?
Well, Jerome killed all the deer for everybody.
That's true.
I hunted for a few hours. 2 or 3, 4 hours.
Did you get to go, Ed?
I'm not a hunter. I dispatch nuisance animals. I'm like the Mitt Romney of South Georgia hunting. I don't do any. Like all my buddies, they're big time hunters. I didn't grow up doing it. I grew up in town with my mom, so I didn't like on the edge of an hour west where we live now. So mom wasn't like, "Hey son, let's go out in the woods and murder a deer. Come on." She wasn't. That wasn't a thing that we did. So no. Do you guys are all hunters? You're all
I actually have a similar story growing up. I didn't grow up hunting. I didn't start hunting till after I was an adult. And then I made my own decisions, and I said, I'm about to start killing some stuff.
And then starred in your own hunting video.
Yeah.
He has a little
got a
bit
hunting video.
I
He's got a little bit
wouldn't
of film
say that I
experience.
starred in it.
We were
but
telling him about Chase's film experience, and we said, "Well, you got a little film experience."
Yeah, a
He
little
was in
bit.
one of those fancy hunting videos.
Yeah. I have some friends of mine that they have their own show called the Camo Clan. And,
Not to be confused with.
And
Let's be perfect.
I was on episode. It was a pretty fun experience.
It's called the what?
The camo, like short for camouflage.
They blend in with the background.
Thank you for breaking that down for me.
What? Clan. Like
the Camo Clan.
a band of people grouped together that are all wearing camo.
So
anyway, yeah, I went hunting Saturday morning, and apparently no one else in our group did. But
I was working. That's the only reason I wasn't out there.
I shot a
But you're a cop. You shoot a
pretty
lot of
decent
stuff
to
anyway.
me buck and 2 does
nice.
in like an hour. Everybody's jealous.
We are a little bit jealous.
Yeah,
I think Alan just owns one
How
gun.
many points? How many points?
it was a 9 point.
Show us
9
with your
points.
hands how
It was like this.
Gosh.
I have
you
no
gonna
idea.
get that one mounted?
How impressive.
Well, I had big plans. I'm a big fan of European mounts. I know that they're going to try to pull this part of the story around, and it is kind of entertaining now. At the time, it was not. But
Ed is ready for the entertainment.
okay, so I harvested 3 deer Saturday morning. So we are cleaning the deer, breaking them down, putting them in the ice chest. Take care of the 2 does first, and I go to dump the gut bucket in this little designated area that we have so that the coyotes can have a free breakfast. And then I come back getting ready to clean my buck, and my father-in-law has sawed the horns off this buck's head.
Okay.
And I was like,
what did you say to him?
I was like,
Sawed them off.
hey man. Yeah, he sawed them off like you're just
He's
gonna
just
throw them away.
walking. He just carries a horn saw with him everywhere he goes.
He just had a hacksaw
That's
laying
right.
right there, and he just went after it. So
Hey, tell you what, if I'm gonna go in the woods, I'm gonna carry me a horn saw. That's what I'm gonna take with me. I ain't going out here and being caught like I was last time. Perfectly good horns on a dead animal and not be able to saw them. What the heck? Keep that guy away from my goats. That's all I got to say. Keep him away.
He didn't saw him off individually, though.
no, he sawed the at the skull. So they're still you
So
can
what
still
is the European mount? So
The European mount is to where you just have just the skull and the horns. So you just see like a white skull and then horns coming out, or technically they're antlers.
Sounds pretty liberal. Sounds like a liberal
That's
mount.
right.
What that sounds like to
That's
me.
right. And a typical shoulder mount is, a lot of people think it's the actual deer, but it's a foam deer. They just use the skin and it's all fake looking. And I don't get down like that. I like the European mount, but I tried my hand at European mounting my own deer previously, and it was a miserable experience. If you've ever had any kind of dealings with it, it's horrible. So I decided that from now on, I'm going to pay professionals to do it. And,
Like your pa-in-law.
well, that's what he said. Well, I never dreamed you to try to get that mounted. You told me you're through messing with European mounts. I said, yeah, I'm through with it. Yeah, I told him that means I'm through with it. Doesn't mean I'm not going to pay somebody to do it.
But speaking of sawing, our chainsaw buddy up in Missouri, Seth Miller, he
killed a good one.
Did you see the picture?
I did.
He sent it to us
it was-
on Facebook through the Small Town Famous Facebook, and he got a 10 point. It looked like.
I think
It was
And,
pretty good. It was better than mine.
Well,
What would you-
I asked him if he killed it or skinned it with the chainsaw, and he said no. So I was like, "It's not really." Then you didn't really kill it. Man.
What would you have done
I
if
bet
your father-in-law sawed every horn off individually?
That's what I'm talking about.
So there's just 10 bones laying there.
just because he just him sawing the rack off. I get a text from Romey, and he needed spiritual guidance. It really shocked me. He asked me, and I actually went to quoting the Bible to calm you down.
Yeah, I was
On a scale of 1 to 15.
Seriously.
How mad were you?
Oh, I would have been mad too.
Dude.
That's an offense right there.
Oh yeah, I didn't know whether or not I wanted to fight or throw up or cry, and it's just all at the same time.
Only in Arkansas. It was a righteous anger. That's
Yeah,
what,
no, it was.
That's what we school them on.
I'm over it now. I'm good.
I don't know. That's just the idea of him sawing each one off individually, and your tears like that.
Or just every inch and a half. Just
Yeah.
makes a little cut.
He just put it in a big bone grinder and just put here's your powder.
I mean, this sounds like serial killer, but this sounds like something somebody from Wisconsin would do. I don't know if you guys have been through have you guys seen Making a Murderer? You know that Netflix series?
Yeah, Netflix.
So okay, I saw that, and then I had to drive through Wisconsin doing shows, and every time I do a show, somebody come up to, oh, really enjoyed the comedy, really enjoyed it, and in my head I'm hearing, oh, if you just want to come out to my mid '80s. Ford Ranger out here. I'll just chop you up, put you in the back, just gonna saw you up like like his pa-in-law did there, just in 9 different pieces, kind of carry you around. The Ford Ranger's really versatile vehicle for murdering. It's a great.
You betcha. You betcha.
You betcha. Yeah.
You don't even know.
Yeah.
For anybody not familiar with Ed, he's been doing. How long have you been doing stand up for?
Not very long.
Really?
Not very long.
But you have a viral YouTube video.
Yesterday I start. I got started later in life, y'all. I always, it was always something I wanted to do. So I'll just kind of back up here. Like when I was in college, the job that I had the most fun at ever was when I was the college bookstore greeter. Huh. Because people would come in and I'd say, "Would you like an aisle?" Or would you? They'd have to give me their bag, and I'd give them like a ticket because we didn't have like theft deterrent systems. This is really boring. Just cancel this whole show.
Yeah.
So
we feel it coming.
We don't know what a bookstore is.
I turned it into a game to try to make it so people would come in. They'd give me their bag. I'd say, "Would you like an odd, even, or prime number?" And then I'd recommend a turnstile. They'd go through. Like, would you, I recommend turnstile number 1. Good luck. They'd come back. I'd ask them how that number worked out for them, and then I'd do like a baseball call and convince them to run out of the bookstore and hit the crash bar. So it was just, I was doing like improv.
Yeah.
In this college job I had to try to, pay my way. Part one of the many things I did to try to kind of, pay for school. But I didn't have any, like the only people who did comedy at that were people who had no other, like you've given up on life.
Right.
But I graduated, got married, started having a family, and I had too much. This is kind of a serious thing, I guess. I think I had a lot of fear about doing it. Like what would people think? He went to college, he's got a job. Why would he do? So I just sat. I didn't do. I never did anything with it for years. And then I had I stepped on a rusty nail on the farm and had to go. Long story longer, I had to get an antibiotic, and it sent me in the hospital, and it like nearly killed me.
Wow.
This is in 2010, so it's about 7 years ago. And God used that physical load to kind of take me to a spiritual high. Kind of gave me what I call a grace renewal. Yeah. Kind of reoriented me towards like the things that really matter most. Pretty much.
So that was kind of the
Jesus
final nail in your
and
corporate coffin, and that was kind of the final nail in your corporate coffin. So you could finally move along to the comedy stuff. Right?
It wasn't the nail in the corporate coffin. It was more of just like it was a grace awakening, man. It's like a real, like everything that I was bitter about from like, childhood and family stuff and some church stuff. God just took that bitter. He showed me how bitter I was, and he kind of took that from me. So
now, and you say you haven't been doing comedy for very long, and you already have a video that has nearly 2 million views on YouTube and Facebook, and it's been shared all over the place. And I mean, how was that for you when you're breaking into this new thing that you would have a desire for, and now you're suddenly seen by millions of people?
Yeah. So, I'm a few years in, right? And I know like that's, it's unlikely that the things that have transpired would happen, especially me starting this late in life. Just crazy stuff. Like I started going to clubs. When I started out, I started driving. I would drive 3 hours north to Atlanta, where we used to live. I was living there when I met my wife, and we moved back, to South Georgia 9 years ago now. And I would drive 3 hours to do 5 minutes at a B-list club, and usually bomb. There's 5 people there, or whatever. Typical open mic situation. Just kind of learning how to tell jokes. And then I started like getting put on showcases on the weekends, and they would introduce me as Christian Ed Yankovic. Yeah.
Well, Ed, something caught my attention from the hospital bed to what really gave you that push to, I'm going to try this, it's better late than never.
Yeah. That's a great, thanks, Al. That's a great question. So it was more like, once if you've ever dealt with bitterness over anything, I don't care what it is, when you're freed from that bitterness, it's like you suddenly see yourself and the world around you, and God. Just everything is just you have a very free view of everything, and judgmentalism kind of takes a back seat, and it took a couple of 3 years, I think, because my health was bad, recovering from the effects of that antibiotic. And it was kind of a process, and my wife really encouraged me a lot. She'd been encouraging me for years. Mm-hmm. Why don't you go do something with this? Because I would do, whoever was in office or whatever, I'd write bits as George Bush, and I'd share them with her when Bush was in office. And she's like, when are you going to do something with this? Why don't you do something? Can you do something? So I never so that anyway, the health thing kind of that was a big turning point, and then it was kind of a process of a few years before I finally said, okay, if I'm going to do this, I got to go get in front of a group of people. And the only place I knew to do that was a comedy club. Yeah. So Jerry Farber's Side Door in Atlanta. Jerry Farber's 79 and still works as a comedian. He's a good dude.
While we're talking about small clubs and everything, we found this really cool club. It's called Family Karaoke. It's in Dallas, and it's got a really good crowd there. So that was supposed to be a lot more funnier to my people, and no one's laughing.
I'll add the laugh track.
Yeah, I've been where you are, Deputy. I've been where you are right now. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes you tell a beard joke and you're on a podcast and nobody has any idea what you look like. And sometimes you try to drop those hot karaoke jokes and they just don't feel like
At karaoke, it kills every time. Maybe it was just the delivery.
Maybe it was.
That's all right.
That's what it is most of the time.
we still need to hit the karaoke circuit with some of our big hits that we're planning on doing anyway.
Well, do you have? It's funny. We one of the earlier things that we had thought about doing, just for really basically as a dare, is for us to create out of. Jeffrey's not he's not able to be here tonight, but he's not funny anyway. But we thought about creating. I don't know, when you do an open mic, 5 minutes or whatever, just a 5-minute bit, and I think that we kind of nominated Chase to do it or whatever.
I don't remember that.
But do you remember the very first time you did that? Do you remember what it felt like and the whole deal? And they had to be incredibly frightening. And how old were you, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh gosh, I don't even want to say how old I was. It's too embarrassing. But I mean, it would have been, where are we now? 2017. I mean, the first time I ever wrote something and then went to an open mic to try to do it. I lived in South Georgia, so I went up to Macon to a place called the Hangar Bar and Grill. And it was like the worst possible environment for comedy. It was a music open mic. I call them, hey, can I come tell some jokes? And high ceilings, people playing pool. It was an old airport, like a hangar. Like the one person laughing, all the laughs just flew right to the ceiling. There was no... And
we have clubs like that in Arkansas called the Hangar, and totally different other reason.
That's
that's just falling flat.
This is why we're recording.
I don't know. Let's just woo pig suey every time. We'll fall back on that.
Now you were talking about writing bits when George Bush was president, Obama, Trump. What is the where'd the love for making fun of the presidents come from? I mean, is that?
Oh man, I started doing impressions. It's not so much the president. I mean, they're like prominent people, right? So when I was a kid, I would like, one of my heroes was Dana Carvey. I mean, I just loved watching him. That was back when SNL was like consistently just killing it every week.
And he's got the HW,
the great,
not gun that type thing.
Yeah. He's just gold, right? So he and all of his things. So, but I would do impressions of people I knew. There was a guy that worked with my mom, and I would do an impression of him. And no matter what I had done wrong, I could always make my mom laugh with that impression and get out of trouble. So that's kind of where it started at like age 8 or whatever with the impressions. But the presidents, man, I don't know. It's just
They're always fun impressions to. I mean, that's everybody tries to do them, and only a certain few can actually nail them. And I know if anybody's watched your videos or haven't, go watch them. They're all over YouTube. He's got Ed Wiley Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You got to hear his impersonations of, of these guys.
I actually saw one of his viral videos before I even knew his name. And it was probably about 2 months later, Alan said, hey, we're going to interview this guy on our podcast. And as soon as I saw his picture, I'm like, hey, I seen that guy. I know him.
They tried to remove him up in Bentonville. So Dana Carvey was a comedy influence. And then you started when did you start adding music to your routines and everything?
Well, I mean, so I had played like every guy who goes to college and sees somebody playing the guitar and watches the way girls react. I picked up the guitar, right?
Absolutely.
So and then in things you might pick up for selfish reasons. Sometimes God turns them to better, for noble purposes. And I've played in some worship bands and stuff. And
is that what,
very short?
Is that what led you to Florida Georgia Line?
Now, I was going to ask about that. We know you're an avid Florida Georgia Line. I didn't know if that was a big musical influence for you, like Nickelback is for Alan.
Yeah, so it's the same, right? It's like they get picked. So I had a season when I wrote. I mean, Florida Georgia Line gets picked on so bad on Twitter. It's like constant. But I had a season when I just was writing constant jokes about them. And what happens if you do that? Everybody knows you as the guy who hates Florida Georgia Line. I don't know these guys. I'm sure they're wonderful people.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm like a George Strait, Randy Travis, Alan Jackson, more recently Chris Stapleton. Like that's the kind of country music I like. I don't like the bro country kind of boy band country. I just don't like that style. I'm sure they're decent people in person.
We'll we'll assume that.
I won't.
Yeah, I mean they're not, but I don't. Yeah, and they're just easy. It's almost gotten where it's just too easy to pick on them. I mean, it's like you can just.
At some point, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got Florida Georgia Line fatigue. Actually, I got fatigue.
Well, when did you first decide or try your Trump impression? Do you remember the first time you tried to? Because you had to stand in front of the mirror trying that for a while, or did it just come right away?
I don't really do. No, I don't really try to do it in front of the mirror. It's kind of like it's, I just will I'll hear it. And, again, I mean, I started comedy just a few years ago. So in terms of doing it as a bit in front of people, I think the first time I floated the Trump impression was actually at a set I did at the Christian Comedy Association conference, a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So it would have been not this year's, but the previous, so 2016, and that would have been in the summer. And he was in the news constantly then. It was during the primary season, and I just threw in a quick thing about it was so stupid. It was like something about I really think you're beautiful, even when you're pregnant and huge. It was something I threw in about my. And you don't say huge. Like that's just at this point we've huged out. You got to be a little more creative than that now.
Well, but if you were trying to tell Jordan or just get Jordan to do a Trump impersonation, which he's about to do, but how would you tell him how to do it so he can give it a shot?
Okay, well, there's three Trumps. I actually want to do. I'm probably going to do a video on this at some point. There's like three Trumps.
Exclusive.
Interview Trump. Interview Trump is the most boring Trump. So if anybody does an interview Trump impression, it typically doesn't hit. It's, I don't know Putin. I've never seen Putin before. I don't know anything about Putin.
That's so on. That is perfect.
I don't know how are you? And he's kind of got this, it's nasally, it's kind of, Californian, kind of like dude, it has that dude feel to it, but it's not like if you go back and watch an old interview of him, like when he was on Oprah, 20 years ago, that's how he talked. Yeah. Just very, very docile, very calm. Okay. So that's interview Trump. Not very exciting. Then there's teleprompter Trump.
Yeah. He's loud, boisterous.
Yeah. Teleprompter Trump has a cadence that is interesting. It's like it's not. You didn't see teleprompter Trump during the campaign, during the primary, any of that. He was unhinged, unfettered, unglued the whole time.
That's my favorite.
Okay, but then, but teleprompter Trump is like it's the same cadence, and I think it's when he's looking back and forth. You know, Kim Jong-un has put the entire Pacific Rim at risk. All of East Asia is at risk because of Little Rocket Man's reckless actions. And that's what he does. He just kind of goes back and forth.
That's so true.
And it's that can be funny.
Yeah.
When he goes off script. But the best Trump is rally Trump.
Yeah,
that's the best Trump. So I guess what I do, because I've thought about it, I didn't really do it intentionally, I think, at first, but I realized this is what I do. When I do Trump, I just do full-on rally Trump in every situation. It's like,
well, it's kind of like the one you were describing.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it's kind of like teleprompter Trump with all the add-ins in between.
I heard somebody say today, the reason I sent you, did you receive my text that I sent? I said, you're about to receive an odd text.
No. I saw the even text. That's an actor.
I'll put a laugh
I was just
track
trying to
with
make you feel better, Deputy. Trying to make you feel better.
I sent you a text. I heard someone say today, I text Chase this. I thought, man, it's pretty genius that somebody said that his speech cadence, his speech pattern is like he writes his speech using the iPhone text suggestions.
Suggested words. So he sent me that text.
So
he said,
I just made one.
He just hit suggested text, boom, 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 and he sent it to me, and I was like, did Trump write this? What is? Because it started out Hillary Clinton, boom, 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 boom. I was like,
with
what?
the one I sent to you, I said Obama is, and it just wrote itself. Well, I sent one to Ed that says Hillary, and it just went. And I just started.
It was pretty funny.
Could you read that in Trump's voice? Could you try to read that text? Did you get it?
Let him finish describing the
rally Trump.
Trump.
I'm sorry. My bad.
No, I think y'all. So it kind of goes. You nailed it, Chase. What rally Trump? Rally Trump is. They're coming over here. They're coming in. They're coming all over the place, and we don't want it. We're going to stop it. My people are going to put a stop to that. We are going. We're going to put an end to it. There's some very, very, very bad, very horrible, deer horn cutting people, and we're not going to have it. That's rally Trump. Okay. Rally Trump is
out of those three different Trumps, which one would you want Jordan to give a try?
Jordan, I'm going to take interview Trump for 500, please.
All right, interview Trump. Jordan Trump.
You can do it, buddy. Come on.
How was your?
Do you want me to do my? Never mind.
Your Hank Hill. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Everybody knows King of the Hill and Hank Hill. Romey's got a good one, and I give it a shot. Boy, I tell you what, it's a beautiful day to be out here in Arlen, Texas, boy. And it's that, and everybody knows the show. And we used to try to do that all the time, that impersonation. And Jordan tried to give it a try about 12 years ago. And I said, Jordan, do
you
Hank
still
Hill.
Remember it?
Oh, like it was yesterday. Do you want to do it? Just go ahead.
I thought it was good.
Let us be the judge.
Like everybody, stop right now. Go listen to Hank Hill, and then come back right now, and then.
I'll tell you what, Bobby. Is it not good? Is it really not good?
It was uncanny.
I'll tell you what, Bobby.
Romey's got the Romey talks out the back of his throat anyway.
If you weren't my son, I'd hug you.
Boy, if you weren't my son. Yeah.
Do it, Romey.
Do what?
Do what?
So, Ed, if you could, on your cell, if you could find that text I sent you, I would love to hear that. I would love to hear that.
Hillary Clinton.
It starts with Hillary Clinton is, or something like that.
Hillary Clinton. Let's see. Where is this? So this you sent me a text. I don't know if it made it here from Arkansas yet.
He got lost somewhere in Alabama.
Yeah.
We're gonna need that
Okay,
back.
it's a very weird text.
Yes.
It's mimicking Trump's speech pattern. Okay, you actually told me you preempted me.
I
with
did do that. That's right.
I'm about to send you a text. That's funny. I used to do that in junior high.
You
It's
sent a
like,
text that said, I'm
I
about to
really
send you a
like you.
text.
I'm about to send you a text telling you I like you. I think you're pretty. Oh.
My world's collapsing. Hold on. I never thought about that.
So I did I did an Ed Wiley suggested text thing, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's pretty awesome. Did the message come through, Ed?
Yeah, it's in like 0.01 font. I don't know why it's so tiny. I'm like having a retinal detachment right now trying to read it. So actually, this is you said here you want me to
See if you can do it. Yeah, no. See if you can do it and let's see, rally Trump.
rally Trump. Well, Hillary is the best. She's doing an appointment with a great time with you, honey. And thanks again for all the time. And thanks to our group for the long time we've done our business meeting with you guys today. And we will get you some stuff done. We're going to get it done. And it's going to be some beautiful done. I don't know. That's just...
That sounded
does
just
kinda-
like him.
That's just suggested text going.
That was straight up iPhone magic.
That was beautiful.
That is amazing. Expensive. It was good. I just can't see anymore because my retina detached, but that's okay. We're gonna patch your retina back up, Ed. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna have a great
It's going
retina.
to be the best retina. No, I can't. No, I didn't mean to try to do
It's
that.
gonna
Sorry.
be big league.
Sorry, we can all do it.
Well, hey, just a second. We're gonna take a word from our sponsors.
We got more with Ed Wiley right after this.
You guys have sponsors?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got.
Oh, that's awesome.
Only the best for us.
Yeah, you're about to hit the big time, buddy. We'll be right back.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Billy Bland Fisheries. Located in the small town of Taylor, Arkansas, Billy Bland Fisheries has over 50 years' experience in a great selection of quality goldfish, koi, minnows, catfish, and a variety of sport fish. You can visit them online at www.blandfishery.com or by phone at 870-694-4811. The name is Bland, but the fish are not.
And we're back. We're back with comedian Ed Wiley, all the way from where are you at in Georgia? What's the name of your
I don't
part of the
tell
woods?
people. So I don't tell people exactly where I live because after having a couple of videos go viral, there are genuinely insane people out there. Like telling me I'm part of the Illuminati. I'm like, dude, I grew up in a duplex in South Georgia. I'm not Illuminati. So. Yeah,
we know what you mean.
But yeah, no, Tifton, Georgia. Tifton, Georgia is the town where we live way out in the country.
Yes, got the monument.
Tifton is known as the self-proclaimed reading capital of the world, and we don't have a bookstore. That's what we're known as.
Reading capital.
It's like saying you're the yoga pants capital of the world without any white girls. That's what we're doing. So yeah, it's deep South Georgia, man. Deep South.
Well, now, what is the name of the town that has the American Stonehenge or whatever? That's close to you, huh?
The American Stonehenge.
Yeah, it was.
That's a band.
Never
American
mind.
Stonehenge.
It's,
Is this a
it's
Skinner?
it's
what
big
is this?
conspiracy theory. This dude came in and they built this big monolithic. I mean, no, it's not a monolith. This actually looks like Stonehenge. Just all these little. Never mind. It's like a rose. You know what? It's in Georgia. It's like a rose.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know what it's called. I heard my wife and some of her friends talking about that. It was during their Illuminati meeting. I've said too much, but
it's very creepy. All you so I don't sound insane. Just Google American Stonehenge and it will in Georgia, Norcross, Georgia. Is that a real place?
it is. That's in Metro Atlanta.
Okay, so that's not it. So anyway.
Now you
Maybe Eastman. I think there was some place that like some cult used to meet at. It's like in like East Central Georgia, and they built all these really weird things.
Yes.
The guy like got investigated by the FBI. I have no idea. Are you even from Georgia, Ed? Get him out of here. He's not.
now in Georgia, you do you own a farm? Have you? I mean, you obviously were raised in a duplex, but how did you become about to be a goat farmer?
Yeah, I guess it was 2008-ish. My wife and I just decided we wanted to move back kind of closer to where we both grew up. She grew up in Middle Georgia. I grew up in South Georgia, right? And we wanted to do life on a farm. She grew up with cows and stuff. I didn't, I grew up with any of that. So all this was new to me. And she really wanted goats and obviously really wanted children because we have 6 of them. So we found a small farm and we started off with a few goats and they're killing it.
So are these like dairy goats or prize goats or what kind of goats? What degree of goats do you have?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, sir. I'm actually a distinguished goat farmer comedian, and I'm happy to share with you all of my secret ways.
Hold on, we just got a Facebook message from somebody that I got mutual friend. Jerome is one of my mutual friends. He's asked, do any of the goats have any horns? Because he's got a saw that it's already warmed up, ready to go.
Signed, Papa-in-law.
No, they all have horns except for maybe 1 or 2. We had a couple that were polled, as they call it, when we bought them. We've had as many as 60 and as few as 20. It depends on. And we did milk them for a while. We don't do that. After every show, people come up, do you really have goats? Do you milk them? I'm like, look, I'm not that Amish. Okay? I'm not. But the goats are a real thing, and we basically raise them and sell them. We had some. Oh, you asked if I had like some kind of special pedigreed garbage goat. We had these. We got it. I went halves on some rare breed goats called Arapawa Island goats. A buddy of mine, this is a real thing. I don't even know if this is funny. He drove from South Georgia to Kansas, Wichita, Kansas, the Sedgwick County Zoo, got these 2 goats. There were only 300 of them in the whole country. They were cheap. They were like $25 a piece, but he wanted, he like knew all about goats. He raises these registered goats and the whole thing's a Ponzi scheme. But anyway, so he drove 14 hours there and back. 14 hours each way and gets these goats, brings them back to my house. Guys, we lost one of these goats.
We
lost one. Like it got off the trailer and ran into the woods. It had these big sweeping horns and it was deer season. Like that thing didn't make it a day.
Oh, somebody's sawing those things off right now. We all know that.
Yeah, like Billy, what the heck is that thing? You got a tag for that? I ain't taking that thing down. We're gonna do a European head fest or whatever you call it.
A few years ago, I was checking some game cameras, and it was a new hunting spot I acquired, and I found this little trail that looked like a highway, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be money. So I set up a camera, let it soak for about a week, had some corn out. I go back and check. And the very first picture, I just see solid white. So I'm thinking, I have an albino deer. This is going to be incredible. I cannot wait. And then they slowly start zooming out, and it was probably 50 goats eating my corn. Like the guy who owns the property next door, his goats got out and came straight to my corn pile, and they ate it all.
That would be my luck. I would lease a goat farm. God, that's the kind of luck I have. What about the homeschooling? I know that's actually very popular in Arkansas.
Yeah.
So how'd you make that decision?
Yeah, that was kind of a joint. That was just an early kind of joint thing. My wife really wanted to do it because, I mean, let's face it, guys, homeschool dads. Homeschool dads, and I'm not saying that some are more involved than others, but generally speaking, dads don't do anything but complain about the cost of curriculum. I mean, we need to do better, guys. This is not. That was supposed to be funny, but anyway. But it's true. It's true. So dads are typically not as involved as they should be. My wife really wanted to do it, and I was like, "Yeah, let's go for it." And we just kind of stuck it out. Our two oldest are actually they're in high school and are joint enrolled at the local community college in a couple of classes. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah, we got.
What's it like come prom season?
What's it like prom season? Oh, we don't leave. We leave the gate on the farm locked. We don't go. It's not. We don't ever leave. We never leave the farm.
Yeah, it did there for a second. It sounded like a compound.
Yeah.
Tim Hawkins has a bit about homeschooling, and I found it to be just not funny.
Yeah. Can we hear that Hank Hill impression again, please?
Have I told you the story about Tim and Jordan? It's building to a head. It's created as an arc.
I don't know this.
This is actually like an arc in the podcast now. It's me, and I've been following Tim for a long time. One of my favorite comedians until I met you. You're my favorite. Now, so
at least for the next 30 minutes.
Absolutely. So we go up to we go down. He decides he's going to be in Benton, Louisiana, which is about 50 miles from our house. So I'm going to take Jordan to go see, to go see the man. So anyway, take him down there, and we kind of get the idea. Well, I think it was your idea, right? About calling.
That was your idea.
Yeah. I said, why don't you do something like, hey, Tom Higgins, I'm Jordan Hansen.
Yeah,
just,
when they met after the show.
Thing.
Right.
And Tim did not find it funny at all. And ever since then, Jordan has had the inability to like Tim because of something Tim didn't think was funny. And it is now built to...
It's built into a grudge.
It's built into a big grudge.
Well, a one-sided
Meanwhile,
grudge.
Tim still doesn't know he exists.
Yeah.
How ironic, because A-list comedians don't know that Tim Hawkins exists.
Oh. See, there's another one for the compilation. Aaron's going to put together a compilation and eventually play it for Tim, and he said he's pretty certain Tim's going to respond.
And
we cannot wait, because that would be a great season finale. Oh,
but
let it burn.
So this grudge or this beef.
Hey, so I really did love the Hank Hill impression. It was really good.
What kills me is
I thought it was very, very funny, and I would love to work with you sometime, Jordan. It would be great if we could share the stage together.
For years,
you don't want to get burned by Jordan. You're right.
Right.
Good call, Ed.
For years, I stopped even trying to do Hank Hill, and I would try to do an impression of Jordan doing an impression of Hank Hill, because that was funnier. And I mean, because it's just fun to say.
You know what? One of the first times Chase was on the podcast, we got to talk about impressions, and you tried to do W. And you came straight out like Dana Carvey doing Senior.
Yeah. Well,
what's the nuance between W and George Senior? Because
we got to grab some rear ends if you HW. Apparently, if you're following the news.
Yeah, that's sad. Isn't that terrible?
That's horrible, man.
That ruined everything for me. It's like George H.W. Bush. Anyway. Now I'm crying. That's what I'm saying. Is I'm crying.
Way to go, Chase.
Thanks for killing the podcast.
No, the nuance between HW and W. I mean, HW has that Northeastern thing going on, right? Because that's where he grew up.
Yeah,
he's from
that's true.
Northeast, and he's more nasally and kind of has that cadence about him.
Read my lips type thing.
Yeah, I never really did George H.W. Bush. Like, I've never done him in my acts. I feel like that's going back a little too far, unless you're I don't know. What do you drop that with the Charles Stanley impression? I don't know. It's kind of, so it's, but so I haven't done that, but I mean, George W. Bush is Texas. He is Texas. Like, I am so confident about what I'm saying, but it's going to be really weird. Like, what comes out of my mouth. Like, I have a bit in my act where I say, I'm like, what's Bush doing now? I miss him. What's he doing? Like, working with the pre-K at his church, President Bush, could you play a game with us? Heck yeah, I can, kids. Darn Skippy. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by his toe. If he hollers, heck, let him go. Unless he's a terrorist, we're going to send him to Gitmo.
Hey, can you do the saying that George was trying to spit out that time?
That's exactly where I was going with
There's
that.
a
There's a saying in Tennessee. I'm pretty sure it's in Texas.
Fool me once, shame on you. Oh, you fool me once, you can't be fooled again. Something like that. I don't know exactly.
That's my favorite thing he's ever said.
W. Classic W.
The videos that you do on YouTube, you do a lot of cutaway shots of you do a great Obama, Trump, George, and you do these conversations, and they're brilliant. And I remember, I think when we were scheduled before, and we had some things come up and we missed it, but we were wanting to ask you. It was kind of the height of all the Putin God, Chase, I think all the Russian stuff. Yes, gosh, I asked for it. Good night.
If you're listening to this, you can't see him, but he just put his head down because that was it's hit that low point.
But we were going to ask, what would it sound like if Trump finally, I guess, got the meekness to ask W for a little, advice on handling Russia and
handling Russia.
So I would imagine, what would that conversation be like, as far as if Trump taking any kind of advice?
Well, Trump wouldn't do that.
That's why it was so hard to think.
It's really hard to imagine Trump saying, George, I just need a few. I need some pointers to deal with Putin. I just need a couple of pointers, maybe some pointers that, from Jerome's Pine-Law. I don't know. We're going to call back to that till we just beat it in the ground. That was, I don't know. I don't know what does he deal with? I don't know how. See, that's the thing. Like, usually I get inspiration from something that, like I had this, it's got to be something that the character would actually do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Like Trump would, of course, he would go for Halloween as him or one of his. Of course he would. Of course he would say it's going to be Trump or tweet. Of course he would say that. Of course he would. So it's kind of got to, and some of this is like, I think the guys who've been in it like 20 years, there's like two ways to write. There's like circumstantial writing where your emotions are in it. It's almost like it's easier to write when you're emotionally there. Like if you feel like a character, right? Yeah. And then you can kind of write from how you feel that character is. But, these guys like, Hawkins and, the Jim Gaffigan, Brian Regan, people have been at it for decades, right? They're in a different, there's a different discipline. You're like down in the belly of the comedy beast and you can just kind of churn out stuff. So it's, I was thinking, like my wife and I watched we watched Stranger Things 2. Did you guys see that? Did you watch the second season?
I saw this that came out. Yeah.
So we watched it. I was an 80s kid mostly. And, there's a lot of references and stuff. So we were watching it. And was there more Putin? What was going on, guys?
Yeah, Jordan. Good night.
Not Jordan.
What?
Chase. Whichever. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Ed. I'm listening, buddy. And a matter of fact, you must be younger.
I'll tell you what. You guys have got a problem. You have some gastrointestinal issues.
How did y'all not hear Jordan when he did that? That was incredible.
I heard it. Yeah, he heard it over my speakerphone, and we're all talking.
I hear the rushing of the River Jordan. Okay?
The phone is right there, cheek level. Ed got all of that.
But there's four people in a room, and talking at the same time, and he still heard that over speakerphone.
It actually wasn't supposed to make any noise at all.
But he wasn't supposed to leave anything in your drawers either.
He was deceived.
But what I was wanting to ask you is, what would it? Okay, so let me give you a situation that I think would be. I think it'd be viable.
See if we can do it.
Yeah. George W. He's on his ranch in Texas. He's got some immigration issues, and he finally calls Trump wanting to know when he's going to build that wall because he made a promise.
Yeah. So
that's like direction. So it wasn't supposed to be funny. I'm sorry. You're the talent.
Yeah, it's fine. No. That's if I was like, if I need to be able to take that and turn it into something amazing. But all I can think about right now is Trump dropping his phone into the upside down and asking Bush and Obama to come with him to get it. That's all. That's like stuck in my head, Alan. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
That's all I can think about. How many of your listeners are going to know what this doesn't seem like a strange. We've talked about guns, and murdering people in the back of a 80s model Ford Ranger, 85 Ford Ranger. How many of your listeners are going to know anything about Stranger Things, like percentage wise?
Well, out of the 4 of them,
at least one.
Okay, if we can even get 25%.
We got 25%.
Yeah.
I know that.
Our demographic is definitely pretty heavy on Netflix.
Netflix? Okay,
yeah.
So
Most of them
Trump, so if Trump drops his phone in the upside down, the idea is he drops it in there. He's like, I've dropped my phone in the upside down, guys. I need your help to go get it. Let's go get it. So they go down there and get it. And Bill Clinton's down there. And this isn't funny.
He's already been down there for a while.
I was thinking, no, that's the whole thing. I was thinking it'd be really funny.
Thanks for ruining it.
Crap.
No, if like Bush is doing a painting, and Obama's like, George, you're painting a Demogorgon. And George is like, no, I'm painting a Democrat. And it's Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton's like, Hillary and I have been here in the upside down longer than anybody. Okay? We have... I don't know. I want to do a video about that, but I don't have. It's like
they just call it Washington D.C. anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The draining the swamp. Have y'all seen that video? The draining the swamp. You've got to see that. It's.
What was your idea? What was the premise you said though, Alan? I wanted to try to do something.
It was Bush. What was it?
I was hoping I'd forget it.
Shut your mouth, pie hole, as Jeffrey would say.
So Bush is fighting Hank Hill, but it's actually Jordan.
I tell you what, Tommy.
What was it? He had a when
an immigration problem.
Yeah, when's he going to build that wall? His constituents want to know.
This is a hard one. It's a hard one because I think I have wall fatigue. I think it's like huge. I'm just trying to be transparent here. It's
sure, absolutely, man.
It's like there's 2 things that I'm trying to move away from with Trump.
Yep.
And all you gotta do is wait 2 weeks and he'll come out with something new, like Little Rocket Man, which was amazing. Little Rocket Man.
Yeah.
I mean, look, politics aside, the guy's amazing with the nicknames. Okay, that is just hilarious. But yeah, so walls and huge, I'm trying to move away from. But it's I have noticed that I almost have to let crowds know that I'm not taking a side in my acts.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's weird, y'all. I didn't intend. I was talking. I have a buddy. I have friends in Christian comedy that work mostly churches like I do. I do the same act wherever I am, in the club, church, whatever. I've been clean from the get go. But I have friends who don't work clean and work clubs. And I was talking to a buddy of mine in the Northeast, up in Rhode Island, and he said, Ed, I never imagined I'd say this, but your act, because you do a Trump impression, is now more edgy than mine.
Oh, really?
He has done shows, no joke, where they have said, we don't want any mention of Trump.
Wow.
Because it's too divisive.
What? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, but so I go to a church show, and in the South, right? Predominantly red states. So it's like people need to know that I'm not trying to be Alec Baldwin. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Sure, absolutely.
So I try to pick on everybody. I pick on everybody. I start off with a song about Hillary, and then I'll do Trump talking about Hillary, and they're like, but I thought he just, and so that's what I want. I guess I'm kind of stuck. I'm a little older, but I'm still in that era when you could just pick on everybody, and it was fun.
You really saw that at the CMAs with Carrie Underwood and Brad Paisley opening it up. I
didn't watch it. Did they go after everybody?
I didn't watch the entire thing. I just liked the Brad Paisley and Carrie Underwood monologue at the beginning because it's really funny. But yeah, they did the first joke was a Hillary Clinton joke. And it was like then they did a Trump joke, and it got a little more, laughs and everything. But yeah, they kept it even, the whole thing. So
that's cool. It's hard to do. It's hard to do because I did a show in rural Alabama once. Not the one I just did in rural Alabama was amazing. They were so much fun. But I had a show in rural Alabama, I guess it was about a year and a half ago. And they were like, you're going in too hard. You're going in too hard. And it was tough, to get them say, hey guys, this is not Saturday night. This is not modern Saturday anyway.
Right.
This isn't funny. This is not. Now we just lost we lost 50% of your viewers from my rambling.
No, man, I'll edit it, make it funny.
This is.
No, see,
we want the real you, man.
Yeah,
that's
we know you tour, and we know you know the routines get up there, and it's good to take a break from them and let you just the natural funny flow out of you, and that's what we like to do.
Well,
so we definitely got the natural funny flow out of Jordan tonight. It was right into the phone speaker. So.
Regional Hospice Care Group of Louisiana. With 2 locations in Minden and Shreveport, they have a full-time physician on staff to meet the needs of every patient, and they make house calls. For more information, call 318-382-9396 or 318-524-1046.
Well, we've had we've had Bob Smiley on a couple of times, and he always kept it very real and things like that. So we never really want anybody to come on just to do their act or set them up with, hey, we know you do this joke, so we're gonna feed you this line.
Yeah, man. Chase, do you do some impressions? You did a pretty good George H.W. Or a good Dana Carvey doing George H.W.
See, I was telling Alan that one time. I don't do the impersonation of the real people. I do the impersonations of the impersonationists. Because that way, if I'm off, I just go, oh, well, they didn't do it right. I was just doing what they were doing.
Brilliant.
See, I try to instead of doing impressions, I just make up people. And just do, because I like doing, I work in an office and we have 7 around the state, so I prank call them. and so we deal with a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of crazy people out there, and politics get involved, and then they come out of the woodwork. So they call, and you never know if it's real or not. And so that was something I took, and I was going to call some different people in our office because I could say whatever, and they're probably going to think it's a real call because it's nothing they haven't heard before. So I try to create characters that are based off people that I may know or just bits and pieces. Like there's a guy that I made up called Reginald P. McDowell that's based off my grandpa, where he's almost incoherent. He growls a lot, and he never really know what he's saying, but he's very he's passionate about what he's saying. And almost like Donald Trump. And and then there's a woman voice that I try to do, where it's just the daughter of him.
That's great. That's fantastic.
No.
That sounded sarcastic, but no, that's a great character, man.
So I don't finding people to do impressions of is I like just making up people.
Yeah.
Like there's a Cajun drunk Santa Claus that I try to do.
Oh yeah.
Let's hear that one.
I've actually called it was a voicemail I left on somebody because they didn't answer their phone, and so I just started. I was gonna hang up, and I was like, no, I'm just going to see what comes out. And so I just started laughing. And I was like, oh, you didn't answer your phone, did you? Wait until I tell your supervisor about this one. You going to get fired today. So I started doing that. And I got a call back from them, and they said, I just got a call from a drunk Santa Claus that's down in South Louisiana. I was like,
my gosh.
I think I know him,
He does do a good Matthew McConaughey.
awesome.
Your Matthew McConaughey's gotten.
That's
gotten
probably the
that
only one
about
I've
a lot.
actually tried.
But he does a better Jim Carrey doing Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, it's like I do the impressionist.
That's awesome.
But hey, we do a segment. I don't know if you're aware of it, called Rapid Fire, and
Rapid fire.
where we put 2 minutes on a clock, and we just ask the most random questions we can come up with, and we just let it go. They're not yes or no, and they're not either or. So we just pull the first thing out of your mind. So we normally do this with just regular people, but with you being on, I wanted to know if maybe we could go through these questions with, and you could answer them as Donald Trump or Bill Clinton or George W. possibly. We typically do 20 questions, and you got 2 minutes to do them, but we're going to give you a little bit more because we want to hear what all the presidents may have to say about some of these certain questions. So whenever you're ready, we'll get started if you're willing to take part.
Yeah, man. Let's go for it. Let's see what we can do. Let's
All
see
right. Well, we got the clock going, and you can answer as whoever you want. And we'll start now. What kept you out of the popular crowd in high school?
Well, I had some problems. I had a nervous tick. Little tick-tock. Little ticky-tock-tock. Made it difficult to interact with people. All right.
What word would you want to hear Morgan Freeman say?
Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman. Morgan.
Did he used to do a MasterCard commercial?
He still does.
I think
he
that's
still does.
MasterCard. It's everywhere you want to be. I gave it a shot. All right.
A MasterCard, you see?
Describe your prom date in 3 words.
Let me tell you, I had the best prom date. And I know I can take 3 words and I can make them 30 words, okay, boys?
He is a big league.
All right. What is your favorite word that starts with the letter P?
My favorite word that starts with P. It's probably hippopotamus. But that starts with H. So anyway, that was stupid. I just wanted to hear Obama say hippopotamus. Go ahead.
We did too.
What was the moment that made you regret becoming a parent?
Probably after the 73rd divorce. I don't know. That was when I don't know.
Hey, women are crazy because...
I'm not answering that question, Jay. I'm not answering that one.
All right. This one I do want George W. to answer. Describe Donald Trump's tweets to a kindergartner.
It's a bunch of letters. Maybe occasional abbreviation. He just just puts them together and does a little tweet. It's like a little birdie. Little birdie with a beak tweeting.
All right. What was
birdie? It's a little birdie.
What was the last argument you think you won against your spouse?
I've never lost an argument against my spouse, okay? Every spouse that I've ever had, all 75 of them, I've won every argument every time. And believe me, I know I have the best arguments. I can argue better than anybody.
Hey, what's in your car that I shouldn't know about?
I believe that Americans should have. Okay, that was Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. It's like Bernie on crack. I don't know what that was.
So
he
Bernie
sounds
said
like
Bernie.
he's starting. It's like he's starting a. I've got a chainsaw in my car.
Could Bill Clinton answer that question because I guarantee you, we're from Arkansas, and
you got to remember, Bill is from here. So
so there's no telling what would be in his car. That would be interesting.
Oh, wow.
Hey, what was the sexiest thing you've ever seen at a family reunion? That is for Bill Clinton.
I've never been to a family reunion. I don't know. I don't do Bill Clinton. I don't do a Clinton impression. I do like 8 words. It was what was the question again? What is this?
We'll go on to how would you describe a hot dog?
A hot dog. Very Chicago. A lot of kraut and a lot of slaw. A lot of slaw. All kinds of slaw. And suddenly, Obama became Bernie.
All right, well, that was all the time that we had. That was one of the more entertaining rapid fires I think we've ever done.
I believe that was probably the best one ever. Yeah. Oh, but that was so great.
Do you guys have jobs? Like, what do y'all do? So, one of y'all works for a senator or something? You work for a state senator?
That's me.
Deputy Hanson.
Appreciate your service to the community, sir.
Thank you.
The politician, I'm not sure.
And I'm a lineman for the county. I work for a local power company.
He's Power Man.
I appreciate your service big time. I got a good friend who does that. That is dangerous and very honorable work.
See,
So,
is he a
thank you.
contractor or a utility lineman or co-op or what?
He went to school down. He was in a Bible study my wife and I had, and he's years ago. And so he works for an EMC down here, and he's climbing the poles. So what is that? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I
Alignment.
mean, everybody does that. It's different.
I even do that.
Come on, even me.
He actually climbs to the top of the poles and like he saws them down. Saws them.
We take care of those people.
Yes.
I think he referred to his father-in-law. He is picking at that.
Some cross ties.
He is just picking at that wound. Oh man, God.
Hey, Eddie, if people were trying to find you or book you, or where can they find you?
I have the largest following on Facebook. So Ed Wiley Comedy. You can go into Facebook and search Ed Wiley Comedy. You can also go to Google and search Ed Wiley Comedy. Go to my website. Those are the 2 biggest places. I'm also pretty active on Twitter as Ed Wiley, and then on Instagram as Ed Wiley Comedy. Sorry, they're not all the same.
Hey, you should hear ours.
Oh Lord. What you got coming up the rest of the year? What tour dates?
Yeah, so I got some private events coming up. Don't really do a lot to promote those because people can't come to them. It doesn't make a lot of sense, you know. So, hey, I'm going to be in your town. Can't come. Sorry, not cool enough. No, I'm really excited about a tour that I'm doing with Anita Renfro, and it's in support of Compassion International. We're going to be in the Southeast and up in the Midwest. And I just posted about that, actually. I think, where are you guys? Are you guys close to Fort Smith, Arkansas? Are you guys?
No,
About 5 hours.
Yeah,
probably.
we're in the South.
That's
we're actually
not
very close to Texarkana, which I heard
That's right. Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I remember now. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
We're
didn't
going
you
to
say
be in Arkansas.
Well, didn't you say
Go ahead.
something about Compassion International? Because it's sort of ironic why they would ask you to, why they would have comedians join.
Yeah, that's right.
What
A
was
bunch of broken personality people working. Compassion. What's it? Yeah,
it was a
comedians
study-
don't typically have a lot of compassion. Was that the study
no,
you read?
no, the study that 99% of comedians are either sociopathic or narcissistic, and then you get picked up by Compassion International to be the entertainment.
That's great. I mean that's true about
It was
comedians.
very funny to me.
There's no question that's true about comedians.
Unless you're Tim Hawkins, then you're just untalented.
Oh God! I mean,
Man.
Hey, don't worry. You won't get caught up in the whirlwind. It's
No.
I think Tim's great.
Oh my goodness!
I enjoy his brand of comedy.
And man, we appreciate you for being on with us,
Yeah.
especially take time out of your schedule to hang out with us and shoot the breeze with us.
Honored.
I mean,
Honored. You guys are a lot of fun.
We wish you all the best, and we hope you come back on.
Yeah, I'd love to, guys.
You're like a million times cooler than Tim Hawkins.
Hang on, I need to record that. I'm going to put that on that's going to be my podcast intro that I don't have yet. It's going to be.
Hey, who did
you guys are great, man.
Some guy in Arkansas.
He does a great Hank Hill though.
Awesome. You guys are fun, man. This is like I love the Skype thing. Good call. It's like we were hanging out, having a burger or
That's
something,
what it's all about. We just like to hang out and just chat.
It makes a difference. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, how can I promote you guys with this?
If you could just throw it out on Facebook that you visited with us tonight. So
Cool.
everything that we have is the STF in all caps. The STF. When I did all this, I didn't think it would amount to anything. This was really just a silly idea that me and Jordan had to do a podcast, and then something happened. Anyway, so it's the capital S, capital T, capital F, Amos.
Saint
Saint Famous.
The Saints famous.
Yeah.
The Saints famous. Yeah.
So, yeah.
My favorite of the Saints.
But, you've been on the Facebook page. I've tagged you on it before. So just, man, if you could do a shout out on your Facebook page, give us a listen.
I'll do one tonight and just say, hey, thanks, guys. Had fun. And then when you cut it, I'll share it.
Oh, thank
Hey,
you.
that's what we were hoping.
Yeah,
We'll let you know when it's getting about that time.
Yeah, yep. I'll let you know when I get that and send you the link.
Awesome, guys.
But we appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you later, there, Chase, y'all. Y'all have fun. Y'all doing a good job there. Merry Christmas and everything.
See you
See you
later,
man.
All right, bye.
Thank you, guys.
See
God
ya.
bless y'all.
God bless you.
Thank you. God, that was a good guess. That was a very good guess. God,
He's that dude should have been doing comedy a long time ago. He started late, but man, he's probably the funniest dude.
But he did
Just
see,
naturally.
But no, see, you know how many jokes of his and all of ours that flop, but because he's just, he didn't come in with a routine ready to go. And that's nice.
Just naturally funny.
You think that Tim Hawkins joke about him not being talented was a little bit vague?
No,
No, not at all. The whole thing's funny. Yeah, no.
He's gonna burn you to the ground.
When
I've got some up here though.
I feel like that's the art that we wanted and needed. I mean, because every time he mentions Tim on the podcast, people just want to see it more and more. They're like, if there's a natural build-up to it, even if Tim never hears about it or never, it's
I don't think he'll ever.
it's
say
always the
anything.
what if. And there's a natural build-up to it. Because hearing a bitter Jordan is the funniest thing.
It really is. Because you're so nice about it.
Yeah, but I want it to be always like funny and not mean, if that makes sense. And I always want it to flow.
Occasionally
tonight.
Pretty much all of them. But that's
I can't think of any. Here's the deal.
I wish
Sometimes
you
when
would
we
have said
do
the Not Funny Comedy Club when it did.
No,
we
that's
already used
hilarious.
it. But if you
that
said,
used
hey, we went
to
because you mentioned the club, you karaoke thing. I wish you would say, hey, we saw Tim at the Not Funny Comedy Club. Man.
Yeah,
That's where I thought you were going
That,
with it.
me and them talked about that for a while yesterday about, because we talked months ago about trying to buy an ark. What is an ark? We gotta have an ark, and you're it, because you're just dripping these every so often into it, and it is building.
I've got a million of them up here. I drive around thinking about
well,
it.
oh God, yeah.
God,
Thank you.
dead.
Hit no, you can no hit the stop button.